There are tons of absolute hidden gems for early players in Farming Sim to really make the most and maximize the amount of profit that they can make and how easy the game is going to be for them. I often, when I'm playing on stream, get asked what is the best contract to do, which is the one that's going to provide the most amount of profit. And the amount of people that misunderstand fertilizing especially is kind of shocking. We've done the maths on stream and stuff, and I figured that today I'd make a video really explaining why I hold fertilizing as possibly the best profit maker in the game next to baling. So, early game, you choose normal, and you get a nice balance, and you want to know what to buy. So first of all, you buy a tractor, that's all good, and then what do you go from there? Now, depending on the land that you have bought, you're probably going to need to fertilize it anyway, and then you get the access and the ability to fertilize crops for contracts, and this is going to make you a lot of money. And here's for why. So you only need to go for the Brendal K105. You only need the small one of these. There's this one, and then there's a bigger one, which is much more money. And honestly, depending on what map you're on, you're probably not going to need that much space in it. However, you are going to want to get the extension. You got the smaller, you got the big one, which adds another 1,375 pounds to it, and that increases the total capacity to 14,000 litres of fertilizer. That's huge. That's a really large amount of fertilizer, which is going to get you to be able to do a lot more fields a lot more efficiently. Now, the second thing you want to get for is you want to go for the spreader system. You want to go for the 6 meter spreading unit because this, again, just increases efficiency and increases the speed that you're going to be able to get the fields done. So you're spending £54,000 early on. And honestly, that's not a huge amount for a piece of kit that is going to continually make you more money. The big reason why a lot of people don't go for fertilizer is because of the upfront cost of the fertilizer. It's £2,000 per pallet, or just under 1,800, I think, per bag. And that's a lot of upfront cost, and as a result, people don't seem to think it's worth it. However, I'm going to disagree with them. I have made so much money using fertilizing and doing fertilizing contracts because of the way the game works it out, and I'm going to show you exactly why in this video today. So there you are. We've got a Brendal. We have customized it accordingly, and we're going to buy it. So it's 54 grand. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to go through to a field. I'm going to show you exactly why this is such a good money maker. Once you have got your fertilizer and you've taken a contract, this will allow you to see really how profitable this is. Now, I am not a top tier farmer. I'm not very good at lines. I overlap. I miss bits. I'm awful. But fertilizing is really easy, and as a result can make you a lot of money very quickly. So we're doing field 29. This is going to earn us just over 5,000. Now remember, it's 1,000 litres per pallet, and each pallet costs 2,000. So you can pretty much work out how much profit you're making per field depending on how many litres you use. So we're going to unfold the fertilizer, and we are going to start. Remember, so we've got 8,000 litres, just under, and away we go. So we're going to go in, and we're going to fertilize, and you can see where the fertilizer has been, which is why I do it in this overview, because it just makes it a bit easier to sort of see where you've been. And you can, as a result, go through the field fairly quickly, being careful not to miss much, so you do it as quickly as possible. And it's also worth bearing in mind with contracts, you don't have to do every last inch of the field for it to count. You've got a little bit of overlap, so you only need to get to 100% and stop it to maximize on those profits. And again, if you're a better farmer than me, you'll be able to do this without missing too much, without overlapping. You won't be wasting as much as what I am. And even with this amount of waste, I'm still going to be making a fair amount of profit from this. If you look down in the bottom right hand corner where it shows you how much fertilizer there is and how much you're using, you will see that it's not actually going down that fast. This chemical fertilizer, the solid fertilizer, as a result is much more profitable than liquid fertilizer if you are buying the liquid fertilizer, because spray does tend to use it a bit quicker. It uses more litres per meter or per second. The only more efficient way, or the better way of doing this, would probably be to use slurry as fertilizer if you have animals and are working on an animal farm. But this is on the premise that you are, like me, you're fairly new to farming, you're hopping in and you're trying to make money quickly. And this really honestly is the best way of doing it, because whilst there are things like baling which are incredibly profitable, baling is quite a time-consuming job. It takes a while to do everything, whereas you can do 2, 3, 4, 5 fields in the same amount of time, meaning that you're making more profit per hour in game from doing fertilizing, because it's just that much quicker. Your truck moves, your tractor moves faster. You're using less materials. The only downside is that you do have to have that upfront cost of buying the fertilizer in the first place. But honestly, the amount of money you're making profit, it's kind of a no-brainer. You've got things like harvesting, which again, very profitable. Not as profitable as when it first came out, but it takes more time to do. And honestly, I don't think there is as fast of a way of making money in the game than doing fertilizing that makes as much money in as least amount of time. So we're going to basically be making about 5 or 6 grand from this, and we're probably going to do it in less than a pallet. So we're doubling, almost tripling our money, because I think it's 5,917 for this contract. But we'll check in a minute just to check our maths. Which means I'm paying less than 2,000 per pallet. I've used less than an entire pallet to do this entire field, and I'm going to be making nearly 6 grand back. When you convert that to the bigger fields, because there is a job on here on this farm that I've just started for field 26, which is massive, and that's paying 30 grand. And I can probably do that with simply 8 pallets. I'm fairly sure I can do it with just 8 pallets on its own, which is 15 grand. So I'm doubling my money for that, and it doesn't take very long to do. And that is why I personally feel like if you're looking to make money quickly in the game, early game, to get yourself set up and get yourself started, doing it via fertilizing is definitely 100% the way to go. It doesn't cost a lot up front for the actual tech itself. If you're on a farm with a bigger map, or if you're on a bigger map in general with bigger fields, you could probably afford to go for the bigger Brendal, the bigger version, the beastly one, which can hold, I think it's something like 18 or 20,000 litres. It is a massive trailer. But for a map like Hewitt Belleron, you're not going to need more than this. It's a one and done, and fertilising is one of those jobs that comes up every year. And there we are, we've done. So we've used 900 litres there. We are finished the contract. It is 1,800 per pallet, and we are getting 5,185 back. So we have doubled our money. So a little less than what I thought it was. And here you've got lots and lots of fertilizing contracts coming up, which means that you're going to be able to really get the most out of this equipment. But it is imperative that you do configure it with that 6 meter spreader, because it enables you to make your fertilizer go further. It's going to make the jobs a lot quicker as well. So thank you very much for watching this video. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, whether you think fertilizing is still viable or not. And I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.